In this second video, we're going to look at sketching trigonometric graphs. So in order to do this, we start with the key points from our trig graph, whether it's based on a y equals sin x, cos x, or tan x curve. And for an a sin bx and an a cos bx, for the y coordinates we multiply by a, and for the x coordinates we divide by b. Pay attention to the domain, and make sure you draw in a smooth curve, mark on the transformed key points, and label with the given equation. So first we want to sketch the function y equals 3 sin 4x. So looking at the equation, we can see that the a value is 3 and our b value is 4. So we're going to multiply all of our y coordinates by 3, and we're going to divide all of our x coordinates by 4, taking into consideration our key points on our y equals sin x curve. So what are our key points on our y equals sin x curve? Well, if you recall from the first video in this series, the y equals sin x curve starts at 0, 0, goes to a maximum at 91, returns to 0 at 180, 0, has a minimum at 270, negative 1, and finishes one full wave at 360, 0. So we need to decide where these points are going to be on our y equals 3 sin 4x curve. Now, as we said, we're going to divide our x coordinates by 4 and multiply our y coordinates by 3. So let's deal with our x coordinates first. So 0 divided by 4 is 0. 90 divided by 4 gives us 22.5. 180 divided by 4 gives us 45. 270 divided by 4 gives us 67.5. And 360 divided by 4 gives us 90 degrees. So this time one full wave will finish after 90 degrees, and then repeat. If we multiply our y coordinates by 3, we get 0, 3, 0, negative 3, and 0, giving us our key points for the first wave on our y equals 3 sin 4x. Now if the domain is between 0 and 360, we're going to split it up into 45-degree sections. So we've got 45, 90, 135, 180, 225, 270, 315, and 360 degrees. So let's plot that first wave. So we've got a maximum of 3 and a minimum value of negative 3. Use a ruler to make sure your scales are evenly spaced out on your x and y axis. So let's plot the points. 0, 0, 22.53, 45, 0, 67.5, negative 3, 90, 0. And then we're going to plot a repeat every 22.5 degrees, going maximum 0, minimum 0, and we've got another maximum, back to 0 at 225, down to negative 3, back to 0 at 270, up to positive 3, down to 0 at 315, down to negative 3, and back to 0 at 360. Now we need to join these points together with a nice smooth curve, making sure that it goes through each of our zeros and each of our maximum and minimum points. This is the trickiest part of sketching the curve. And then we want to double check that we have 4 complete curves and label our curve with 3 sin 4x. So in the second example, we're going to sketch the function y equals 2 cos 2x. So again, a is 2, so we're going to multiply our y coordinates by 2, and our b value is also 2, and we're going to divide our x coordinates by 2. So let's consider the key points of a y equals cos x curve between 0 and 360 degrees. So this curve starts at 0, 1, goes down to 0 at 90, 0, a minimum at 180, negative 1, we've got a 0 at 270, 0, and then we're up to a maximum at 361. So we're going to determine our x coordinates first on this y equals 2 cos 2x. So we know that there's two full waves within 0 to 360 degrees, so we need to half our x coordinates on our y equals cos x curve. So we've got 0 divided by 2 is 0, 90 divided by 2 is 45, 180 divided by 2 is 90, 270 divided by 2 is 135, and 360 divided by 2 is 180. Now we're going to determine our y coordinates, so in order to do this we're going to multiply them all by 2. So we've got 2, 0, negative 2, 0, and finally 2. And that gives us one of our two waves that we need to sketch between 0 and 360 degrees. So again, we're going to split our x-axis into its four quadrants at 90, 180, 270, and 360. And when you're sketching this yourself, please use a ruler to make sure that these are evenly spaced. And our y-axis is going from a maximum of 2 to a minimum of negative 2. Again, make sure these are evenly spaced. So we're going to start off plotting this 2 cos 2x, and we're starting at 0, 2. 45 degrees later we're at 45, 0, 90, negative 2, 1350, and 182. And then we're going to add on 45 and go to 2250, 270, negative 2, 315, 0, and we finish at 362. So we've got two full waves that we're going to join together with a nice smooth curve, making sure it goes through all of our key points. And we're finally going to label this curve with y equals 2 cos 2x.